1951 Chicago Coin, 6-player bowling alley. What's interesting is this is right before they went to score reels. You see on the score glass that it's all backlight scoring, which actually is a really bad thing. It's just more of a hassle. Whoa, this is interesting though. The glass is sandblasted on the outside here because what it does is it has a projection unit back here for the high score. So the light bulb turns on, shines through. There's a plastic disc back here with the scores on it, and then that hits a mirror here, a mirror there, and projects onto the screen. Now this thing, since it's so old and hasn't been stored very well, it's going to be a bitch to go through. There's just a ton of stepper units, and I'm just looking at this going like, here, look, the clock spring on this one, look, it's broken. Look at that, it's snapped. There's going to be a ton of little issues like that on all these, and all these stepper units have to work, and of course none of them do. Look at this thing, doesn't. Oh look, the clock spring on this one's broken too. Oh man, why do I get myself into these messes? Just to explain the scoring on this, obviously doesn't have score reels, it's light box scoring. So for each player, there's 2 scoring steppers. You've got a 10 stepper, which starts at 0, goes 10, 20, 30, 90, increments, lights up 100, and then repeats across here. And then you got a single point stepper here for the 1 through 9, and then when that obviously goes to 10, it increments this guy. So since there's 6 players, that means there's a total of 12 stepper units just to handle the scoring. Then you've got a frame stepper, a player stepper, a coin stepper, a 10th frame stepper. Oh yeah, the highest score stepper. You've got a crap load of steppers in this thing. So there's a lot of work to do in regards to stepper units. Clock spring broken, clock spring broken, clock spring broken, clock spring not broken, clock spring not broken, not broken, broken. So I got 3, oh, and look, this one, clock spring broken. So what I do is just take the broken part off, bend out a new piece of the existing clock spring, put it through the cotter pin, and then I can wind this back around. 1, 2, I'll go with 3. I don't know if 3 is enough or too much, but we'll start there and then reattach here and see if I can, and clean up the back side of the unit and see if I can get this working right. Okay, so on the back side, clean up the rivets, some 600 grit, and then lightly lubricate it with Teflon gel lube. Clock spring at 3 winds, so let's see what it does. My big hand out of the way. 1, it's going up nice, and it resets nice. So 3 winds seems to be the magic trick, and this one's working. So that's the first one. We've only got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with clock springs, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 without clock springs. Oh man, I'm gonna be here all day doing stepper units. High score stepper, and like remember I told you it's got the light bulb projection, and it actually goes through this little apparatus here. There's the lens, which goes to that mirror, which is completely filthy, then up to this mirror, which is completely filthy, and then broadcasts the high score across that window. But the problem is that the disc, I don't know if you could see it, but this is the disc. It's a printed disc with the individual scores on it. So it's this big, huge stepper unit. And though the stepper unit works great, I mean, look at advances and decrements like it should. Since this disc is warped, the high score feature is essentially a null and void feature. And you can see where it's seriously warped. Like you can see the numbers, the score numbers around the wheel. This is again that high score stepper. Doing these, I think they're single point steppers. This one, this was all bound up, so I had to completely take it apart and clean the shaft and re-lube it with Teflon gel lube. It was frozen solid. This is the only one that I've encountered so far like that, but which is kind of surprising. This is the pin deck. On these, this is actually not too bad, but I got to minimize the travel on these relay plates so that when a pin resets, only the gentlest of pressure will allow the pin to retract. So this little hook has to be bent in. I did it on almost all of them so that it just catches on the edge. It doesn't catch too much. That way this minimizes the amount of travel that this guy has to move. This guy right here has to move. And that keeps the pins retracting snappy. You also have to make sure that the switch is closed when the pins are down like that. And then when it releases, the switch has to open. If the switch doesn't open, the relay will stay energized and it'll burn that up. So there was a little adjustment here. We got the relay that pulls in here, which starts the motor up here. There's a switch on this disc here, which finds the home position for all part of the reset. Usually you don't have to monkey with that stuff too much. So I think the pin deck is in good shape. The lane opens up like a coffin, and we have to go through each one of the relays. There's a relay, there's like probably a start relay, a game over relay, and then usually a relay for each pin, maybe a 0 to 10 strike relay, strike spare relay, score motor. I have to go through all that stuff. 2 reset coils on the reset bank, make sure that they're both good. Couple more stepper units to monkey with, and then some relays to go through and check the fuse clips too. And usually these are the scoring switches for on the deck. Usually those are okay. They usually don't get too beat up, but we'll just give them a quick examination too. Got it all working. The guy didn't have a puck, so he made a puck out of washers and epoxied them together. It's actually not big enough. I think the puck needs to be about 2 1/4. This is 2, because if you want to strike, you've got to hit it exactly. Look at this. Okay, and then if I put it against the back, I get my strike, but it's just too hard to actually throw it and get a strike. Look, I got a 7-10 split, which I'm never going to get. I mean, it's not running perfectly, but it's not bad. Hey, you got a spare. Getting somewhere.